What's up, duelists? Another pre-recorded broadcast for y'all. I am live from Wednesday. This is a rewind in time. Things have changed. Yesterday there was a massive $2,000 Edison tournament in North Carolina. I will be covering the top deck list from that on the channel sometime in the next few days when I am back at my place of residence, of course. But for now, I've got this match for you, a very fire match between Welledad, very popular deck on the streets, not so popular in tournaments just quite yet, versus Fairies. And I want to showcase how the Welledad can really play to its strengths and navigate very difficult situations in order to find kills in, very tight corners, This is probably one of my favorite decks in the format. It's one of my top picks for best deck in the format. I think it falls almost sort of S tier. I think it might be S tier. It's definitely better than Diva Zombies, just from my experience playing this deck. It's just a little bit more adaptable, a little bit more versatile, and a little bit more aggressive, which definitely fits my personal playstyle. The sideboard is something I still have yet to figure out. Right now I'm trying 2 DD Warrior Lady and 2 Light Mirror. Now we don't see Light Mirror or DD Warrior Lady in today's match, but both these cards are good against Fairies. DD Warrior Lady is also good against zombie style mirrors. DD Warrior Lady is also kind of one of those sideboard cards you can bring in 2 and then have 3 because you have Ryota, of course, to search it, and then you do have Return, which helps you capitalize off DD Warrior Lady post board. And again, like I said, I really don't want to be playing a deck in Edison format unless I'm playing DD Warrior Lady in some capacity. It's probably one of the best monsters in the format, if not the best monster in the format. So I don't know if this is the right sideboard configuration, but I'm a lot happier with where the sideboard is now than where it was before. One thing that I might change moving forward is I might cut this Chimera Tech from the extra deck. We don't have Cyber Dragons here. I don't really like Cyber Dragon in this deck. It kind of just doesn't do all that much. Sure, it can clear machine monsters, which obviously the machine matchup can be tricky. It can be tough. It can be a difficult matchup to navigate for sure. So I think maybe I might end up putting some Cyber Dragons back in the side deck, but we'll see. For right now, I'm trying it without them. Gores comes in versus Blackwings. Dust Tornadoes come in versus Royal Oppression. Skill Drain is for just about everything. I've actually been really happy with this. I think the one Skill Drain is fantastic. Let's go ahead and hop into the replay. Now, if you guys see the mind control, it's there because I'm covering up the account that I'm on and my opponent's account, of course, because I don't want to leak. So I lose rock, paper, scissors. So already down. Thankfully, this deck isn't too slow going second. We do have Rhoda in our hand. We do have Trap Dust Shoot. So we have some really good tools. Emergency Teleport plus Sangan means we could synchro even as early as the first turn if we needed to. Sangan's a really strong card here. It means we can make a Catastor if we need to with Emergency Teleport plus Sangan. Or we can go Armageddon, send Malicious, Emergency Teleport, make Stardust Dragon on the first turn of the game, which is also pretty good. But I think I want to try and find a good discard for my Phoenix Wing, basically. Opponent goes first, they T-set, and then they pass. I draw for turn and I pick up the best card in the deck, Dark Arm Dragon. So I'm like, okay, it's only a matter of time before that wins me the game. I know what y'all are thinking. Keegan, this hand is the nuts. Honestly, when you play this deck, every hand is the nuts. Let's look how many limited insane bombs there are. 1 Stratos, 2 Dark Arm Dragon, 3 Mizuki, 4 Plague Spreader Zombie, 5 E-Telly, 6 Brain Control, 7 Mind Control, 8 Heavy Storm, 9 Mystical Space Typhoon, 10 Allure of Darkness, 11 Foolish Burial, 12 Rhoda, and then 6 out of the traps. Pardon me, I needed to cough. Are limited as well. So half your deck is just limited bombs. So you just draw the best possible cards almost every single game. And that's another reason why I like this over the Diva deck. This deck only has one potential brick. It only has one potential brick, and that is Double Mally. And even Double Mally you can fix by stacking Mally with Plague. So there's no potential bricks. I'm not drawing double Divas. I'm not drawing Diva with no non-tuners. Krebins is a active and alive card. Krebins helps you stay alive against other aggro matchups. It also can attack into Raikos and pressure set monsters in a way that Diva can't. It can also pressure life points in a way that Diva can't. It can also become a soul charge in the late game, which is when you're playing Diva anyway for max value. And then, of course, it's a dark for like Allure, Dark Armed, all that other stuff. It just works really well with the deck. So, yeah, there's not the same potential brick factor. Plus, once people wise up to Battle Recruiters being the best part of the format, people are going to start playing more DD Warrior Lady, more Doomcal. It's just the way the format's going to shape up. This deck plays less Battle Recruiters than the Diva Zombie deck, so it's just strong. You just draw less hands where you have 7 normal summons and you're just like, I can't do anything. Grepher is a way to special summon. Armageddonite is a way to summon multiple monsters in a turn, so you just have faster hands. Here, we trap Dust Shoot the opponent, and this is when we learn. We're facing off against one of the hardest matchups, Fairies, and they do have one of the best cards in this matchup, Herald of Orange Light. Now, I know it may be tempting to take one of these other monsters, Shining Angel in particular, one of the best cards in the deck. Looking at our hand, we can pretty easily put together Catastor or Dark End to deal with Shining Angel, Honest, and Soul. So Herald of Orange Light is really what we need to get rid of. And Herald of Orange Light, we're not going to get a better chance to get rid of it than with this Trap Dust Shoot now. If we don't Dust Shoot it now, we're going to have to play into it at some point, and there's a good chance we won't be able to play into this card later on in the game. So we do have to Trap Dust Shoot, take the Herald of Orange here. It's just too powerful against us. We can't afford it. The reason we wait on the Rhoda is to play around Dust Shoot, by the way. Also, there's a chance we might want to get Grepher or Armageddonite later on. We don't really know yet. Shining Angel gets summoned. DD Warrior Lady gets flipped, and I'm like, fuck, I'm losing my Sangan here. This is kind of why this can be a tough matchup. They can banish your starter, and then you can kind of struggle from here. But my opponent makes a critical error. They banish the Sangan, they attack with Shining Angel. They don't set Torrential Tribute. And honestly, because I didn't take the Shining Angel, it means I can deal with it. So what they should do is set Torrential Tribute. Instead, they don't set Torrential Tribute, and they pass to me. Possible they are trying to play around Heavy Storm, which is respectable. They think they're safe with Shining Angel, Honest, and one piece of interaction, which is Book of Moon, which honestly, they are pretty safe here. If you think about it, they are pretty safe. I'm going to go ahead and Rhoda, grab Armageddonite. Now, there are a couple different plays. I think the best play is to go Armageddonite, send Malicious, Emergency Teleport into Krebins, Synchro into Yugioh Guardian, Special Summon Dark Arm Dragon, Priority Pop the Shining Angel, and then after that, if that resolves, banish the Krebins to pop the back row. I think that's the best play. The reason I think it's the best play is because we need to get Dark Arm Dragon live this turn in order to out Shining Angel through like bottomless, basically. So I go Armageddonite, I send Malicious, and he doesn't interact here. I go Emergency Teleport, Special Krebins. He doesn't interact here either. So he could have booked the Krebins here to play around us synchroing and going into Yugioh Guardian. That is something he could have done. I actually, if I was the opponent, I would have for sure booked the Krebins. Because if you're looking at this position, you can go Shining Angel, crash into Armageddonite, grab another card, kill the Armageddonite for free, run over the Krebins with your new card, and then you have Book of Moon still. You don't have Book of Moon still, but then you can set the Torrential, let's say behind a Dialk that you fetched off the Shining Angel, and now your whole hand is really good. Your Soul of Purity and Light is closer to being live. You're less weak to Dark Arm Dragon. You have Torrential for it in play. I would have booked the Krebins here and not risked the Dark Arm Dragon coming down and ending your career. But our opponent does not book there, and that's going to be an error for him. He's not familiar with how much pressure this deck can apply. I special summon Dark Arm Dragon. He activates Book before I even get a chance to priority pop the Angel. Obviously, I'm going to priority pop the Angel here because we know about Honest Soul. We need to get rid of that Angel in order to pressure the opponent, so that's obviously what's going to happen. But yeah, he's going to chain Book, so he's just getting a little antsy with it. Generally speaking, you want to wait till I target something, though, because I could mess up. I could target the back row first. You don't really know. But I definitely would have targeted the Angel, so it's regardless the same thing. We are going to attack for 2,800. And now we do have Windblast plus Krebins to either pick off his Torrential Tribute or his normal summon if he draws one. So if he draws a normal summon, he can attack over our Dark Arm Dragon, which I don't really like, and then hold up Honest to threaten us. So we will be forced to Phoenix Wing his normal summon. He picks up Dialk, and then he summons it, and priority activates. We chain Phoenix Wing. So this is going to banish the Dialk. The opponent messes up the sequencing here a little bit. He banishes the second to top card, but whatever, it doesn't really matter. He does reveal he is on 2 Soul of Purity and Lights, which is interesting. We were having a discussion about 2 Soul of Purity and Light today in the Discord, so it's neat to see someone like literally applying the same exact things that are happening in the Discord servers. Those conversations are seen by a lot of people, and it's kind of cool to witness the ripple effect of like us discussing a deck, basically. Shuffles the deck. If you want to join those Discords and stuff, links are in the description below. Of course. He sets his Torrential and he passes the turn back. We are going to connect another 2,800. Next turn, we guarantee win. So if he summons a monster that can attack over Dark Armed, well, okay, maybe next turn we don't guarantee win. We guarantee win if he doesn't have a dude, I guess. Yeah, if he doesn't have a dude and he's forced to like summon Honest, attack over Dark Armed, then we should be able to win next turn. But if he draws a dude, then it becomes difficult because he can attack over the Dark Armed and then hold up Honest to defend from Goyo Guardian, and then he'll have Torrential and he'll stabilize. So we basically just need him to fade a dude one turn. If he fades a dude one turn, we guarantee win because Armageddon can send Plague. We can stack whatever we draw for Plague next turn. We can put together Dark Armed Armageddon. Not Dark Armed, sorry. Dark End Armageddon. And that'll kill because he'll be dropped down to 2400 here after this Goyo attack. So we Goyo attack for 2800. He finds a dude, but that dude is Raikou. Unlucky for him, it is Raikou. It's not something that can attack over the Dark Armed Dragon. Now, if you're my opponent, Saimei, you have to consider potentially summoning Honest to proc your own Torrential Tribute and then special summoning Soul of Purity and Light, because on my turn, I can just flip Dark Armed Dragon and any tuner kills him. Because if I flip Dark Armed Dragon, he's forced to Torrential, he blows up his own board, he has nothing to defend himself, and then we can just banish the malicious, summon any tuner, and then kill him. So he needs to actually, what he needs to do is he needs to either summon Raikou or summon Honest, probably summon Raikou, activate his Torrential now, then banish both the monsters, special summon Soul of Purity and Light, and hold the position. So that's actually not a bad position for him. Granted, if we draw a tuner, we can make Dark End, blow up his Soul of Purity and Light, but it's only 2100 damage, and it's not actually lethal, so he can survive another turn and potentially find a monster with Honest to stabilize. So he definitely needs to summon and proc his own Torrential Tribute here. Him setting the monster is just a nail in the coffin because I can just flip Dark Armed, proc the Torrential, and then, like I said, the lethal setup is going to be Armageddon, send Plague, and then Mali Plague is game. So, yeah, that's going to be game one. Opponent made a few errors, and I do think this Fairy deck is pretty hard to navigate, especially if you're not familiar with Welledad and getting rushed down like this. The Welledad deck is a lot more aggressive than the average zombie deck because it's going to be putting together like 2-piece, 3-piece combos, attacking through your boards a lot more easily than the Diva decks are. But since my opponent did make a few errors, we were able to min-max off of it and kind of destroy him this game. It was never really particularly close or in his favor, and he was constantly kept on the back foot just because he made that one error with the Book of Moon and then the second error not summoning into his own Torrential. Next game, we side in. How do we side in this matchup? So I sided in Skill Drain, double Light Mirror, double DD Warrior Lady going second. I thought that this might be okay. I wanted to bring in the Doom Caliber Knights as well, but Doom Caliber Knight is not so good if we already have Light Mirror or Skill Drain face up. So I was going with Light Mirror and Skill Drain for our effect negation in this matchup. That being said, I do want to try out Doom Caliber in this matchup. I haven't yet tried it. I think it's probably good, but it could potentially be not good. There's a lot of ways they can proc it in like obnoxious ways and just like be tilting about it. Like special Christia into Doom Cal and then like just special to Christia again next turn. There's like a lot of weird little things. Oops, I'm showing both hands. Anyway, this hand we open up again, Trap Dust Shoot, and we do open up with that Skill Drain that we mentioned. The cards I sided out one Telekinetic Power Well. I almost always side one of these out. I sided out one Dark Grepher, one Armageddon Knight. Armageddon Knight's not great into the Battle Recruiters. Dark Grepher's not great into Herald. I sided out Caius because it's not great into Herald. And I sided out Call of the Haunted because I think it's the weakest of all of our trap cards. And we are bringing in some other trap cards, so I don't want to be like too trap heavy and then him have like Heavy Storm and blow us out that way, and us not have like an engine card. So yeah, I rely on the Battle Recruiters and the sort of 2-piece like synchro combos with Brain and Mind. I think that's the best way to approach this matchup. I think any other way to try and approach this matchup is kind of difficult. Phoenix Wing also helps a lot. Opponent draws return, sets, accidentally reveals they have Royal Oppression, and that definitely shapes the course of this game. If I didn't know he had Royal Oppression, this game would have gone very differently. But now that I know his set card is Royal Oppression, I'm like, alright, I can play this game a billion different ways. I have a couple of options here. I can basically set my Tomato, I can set my Sangain, I can set Dust Shoot, Skill Drain, I can set Heavy, I can set whatever. All I know is that my opponent was willing to set Oppression on the first turn of the game. Is the card he set Oppression? I don't know. Maybe he misclicked and then decided to set something else as a result. Who knows? But all I know is he was willing to set Oppression, which means he probably doesn't have Heavy Storm. So I like to go for set with Mystic Tomato. So I set 3 cards. Mystic Tomato with Skill Drain is safe from DD Warrior Lady. He can float into Goblin Zombie, get our engine going, set up for our brain control play. Trap Dust Shoot lets us get perfect information, and then Heavy Storm will allow us to clear the Skill Drain and the Royal Oppression that we're staring down when we inevitably do decide to go off. I pass the turn. I reveal both hands. He draws Solemn Judgment for the turn. He has Herald of Orange yet again, And Dust Shoot is, again, one of the only ways to interact with Herald of Orange. So I think if you're playing like zombies and stuff, like if you expect a lot of fairies, you do kind of have to have Trap Dust Shoot just to interact with Herald of Orange. I know I just uploaded a video recently where I didn't have Dust Shoot in the main for Diva Hero, but I feel like Diva Hero has such a bad fairy matchup anyway. Game 1, you might as well just like fucking lose it and then just like side heavily for it. Whereas this deck, it's a little bit different, plus Dust Shoots, I don't know, it's a little bit better when you have like these sort of like fast 2-piece combos. I don't know how to describe it, but this deck's a little bit more aggressive than the Diva Hero deck for sure. We take a card, he flips Raikou, targets our monster, we chain Skill Drain, negate the Raikou, and that's going to be pretty much all she wrote. The Dialks don't really do anything now. There's nothing banished. His back row is Royal Oppression. The Solemn Judgment isn't really going to do anything. We can always force the Solemn Judgment later with Heavy Storm. If he attacks into the Mystic Tomato, we have hella options. We can just go grab Goblin Zombie. Goblin Zombie can get a Zombie Master, which can run over any of his monsters, and we're just vibing. We pick up Phoenix Wing, another great draw. We attack over the Raikou, which means we can then play through Solemn by Phoenix Winging the Solemn and then Heavy Storming the other back row if we really want to. Attack over the Raikou, deal 900, set Sangan, set Phoenix Wing, pass the turn. Now we basically just react to whatever he draws, whatever he plays. He summons Thunder King, and I'm like, okay, Thunder King's interesting. It's negated by Skill Drain here, but it can stop a Synchro Summon if we go for it. So it's going to have to be our Brain Control target, which means basically we have to clear Alchemist and Thunder King, and we only have Brain Control to clear one of them, and Brain Control has to clear Thunder King if we want to go for a Synchro Summon. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to search a Tuner with Sangan, and I'm going to search a Zombie Master with Goblin Zombie. I'm going to normal summon the Zombie Master, attack over the Dialk, just get our +1 that way. If he attacks back over it with Thunder King, that's chill. And then we can later Brain Control the Thunder King and Synchro away with it, hopefully. He attacks over the Goblin Zombie, I grab Zombie Master. He attacks over the Sangan here, and then I grab Plague. And then he passes a turn, and we pick up Foolish Burial. Foolish Burial is really good too because it means we can make a secondary play if we absolutely have to. Phoenix Wing, discard Plague, of course, and then Foolish Burial send Malicious. In the weird case that he like Solemns my Zombie Master or something. We know his middle set's Royal Oppression. We know his far set is Solemn Judgment. We have perfect info right now. So I'm just going to summon Zombie Master, attack over Dialk, get my value, and then pass the turn. Here he attacks over Zombie Master, deals us 100. Activate Soul Release, and I'm pretty happy I waited on all my resources now because Soul Release isn't doing fuck all versus us right now. It just doesn't do anything. I actually don't really think Soul Release is that good of a card post board, but sometimes it is. It could have affected us this game. It could have, but it just didn't line up right, I don't think. He passes a turn, we pick up E-Telly, busted card, like absolutely broken, probably should have been banned. We can now just win the game this turn pretty much. So if I go for Heavy Storm, he's basically forced to Solemn. Yep, he Solemns. He pays half his life points. And now I can just Brain Control, E-Telly. He goes for Royal Oppression on the E-Telly. I chain Phoenix Wing on the Royal Oppression. And then I kill him. And that's all it takes, folks. That's all it takes. Couple of power spells and a Trap Dust Shoot. And that's all you gotta have. This deck is so fucking broken. It's not even funny. You can just OTK out of nowhere if your opponent plays a Solemn, if they play a Royal Oppression, if they play even like a little bit of life points here or there, you just get random kills, and it's just a busted ass deck, all things considered. In any case, this is a bit of a quick video because again, I am traveling. I hope you guys like this content. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let me know if you've been having similar experiences with Welledad, if you've been drawing as broken as I have, or if you've been struggling to piece together the non-linear OTKs that this deck can set up. I'll see you guys in the next vid tomorrow, and of course, I'll be covering the top 4 from the 2K on Saturday sometime this week. Peace.